Hello, this is Ronald Bird with Style Speaks. I'm acknowledging Black History Month this month, and I have a few friends that I brought along to help share that. I have some guys who are doing really well in the District of Columbia. I have a gentleman joining me today who is a fashion designer. His name is Mr. Andrew Nowell. Andrew, how you doing?
Doing all right. Glad to be here.
Thanks for talking to me today.
Okay.
Andrew, where are you from?
Well, originally from New York City, the Bronx, actually, and came here in the 90s because I was in the Navy. I relocated here to Andrews Air Force Base, and after I got out, I decided to stay here rather than going back to New York City.
Okay, so how long have you been here?
I've been here since '92 in the area, and in '99 is when I bought a house in in Washington D.C. and just decided to, stay here.
Okay, well, in reference to fashion and design, yes. I mean, we're glad to have you here, definitely. And, you probably consider yourself a Washingtonian at this point. You've been here since the early 90s. But maybe you don't claim us like that.
Dual residency.
Oh, most people kind of claim it, but maybe
Really?
he don't want to claim it.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, when did you first realize you wanted to be a fashion designer? What kind of set it off for you?
When I was in high school, I made...
It's kind of late, actually.
Well, kind of, sort of. I had been drawing when I was younger. I would draw these sketches and things of that nature. And my aunt, she saw my talent, and she decided to buy me a sewing machine. And from then on, I just started creating things. Didn't know what I was doing, by the way.
Right.
But I just got into, just the process and the art of just, creating clothing and things of that nature. So when I graduated from high school, because I went in there to study fashion illustration, I decided just to step it up. And I knew I wanted to do some sort of fashion design. Wasn't quite sure what, women's wear, men's wear, and I just decided to go into men's wear because at that time it was such a new field. It was just, starting to get a lot of attention and play. And from then on, I was just hooked into men's wear.
Wow. So you obviously had some kind of, keen sense of fashion and style, even if, that the fact that you got the sewing machine and you played around with it. Mm-hmm. To make you even want to pursue it as a career, to become a fashion designer,
Yes.
that had to have been a big decision. I mean, that's probably...
Well, yeah, it's a passion, I'm just excited about the process of creating clothes for men.
Okay.
Suits, tailored things, and just getting my design aesthetic, across.
Okay.
To men and my clients also.
Okay. Yeah. Well, did you always consider yourself to be a fashionable guy? A lot of designers are really, they create because they're creative, and they like to see it on other people, but are you...
Not at all. I'm the exact opposite.
Is that right?
I'm not a fashion guy, at all. I just enjoy...
But he creates the bomb.
I created... Well, really, I think first and foremost, I think of myself as an artist. In addition to doing fashion, I like to work with wood, paint, draw. So, there's a variety of things I like to do, but fashion design just, stands out a little bit more. So, while I design, as far as you can see the way that I'm dressed now, I'm very casual. I'm like the worst dresser, But yeah, I really don't get into it too much. I let my work speak for me. Well,
I thought he was going to come like,
No.
With the full fox fur, collar, coat,
That's not me. Well, one of the things is because I'm so tall, and I really don't like a lot of attention. I'm very reclusive. That's one of the reasons why I don't like to dress, because I just don't like all the attention.
Okay.
And you yourself being tall, people just automatically look at you. And then if I'm all in the furs and this, that, and the other thing, I'm I just... That's
not your personality. Well, what were some of your inspirations when you decided to go and you realized you wanted to pursue that talent? What were some of your inspirations growing up and getting into the fashion field and design?
Well, I'm an 80s kid, so I came up during the time when the whole urban wear was just beginning to take off, and develop groups like Run DMC, LL Cool J. So
the whole hip hop
thing and all that. And then going to school, we were taught, the fine art of tailoring, and I just decided just to blend the both of that, the street wear and also saddle roll looks, tailoring clothing. mix it together and just come out with a whole new design aesthetic that was me, and also a little sexiness too, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of inspired you to kind of go. I mean, but like designers per se. I mean, my favorite designer is Valentino.
Okay.
I can live, breathe Valentino for the rest of my life. I would not be wearing maybe your stuff too. But I mean, is there? I mean, growing up, did you admire like your Armani, your Valentinos, your Calvin Kleins? I mean, I tend to.
Well, of course it was
European
Calvin Klein.
designers, but yeah.
Back then, there weren't a whole lot of menswear designers to really, to choose from. That were around that did exclusive, that were known for their menswear.
Right.
But there were people like Willie Smith, of course,
Yeah.
And I think every African American menswear designer, has a little bit of his DNA in their collection because he was really the first one who went out and did it big and caught the attention of a lot of the press. There's also another designer, Shaka King, menswear designer, who inspires me also.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, as far as DC, since DC is kind of your home now.
Yes.
I mean, when you walk the streets of DC as a designer, I don't know, you probably tend to be a little bit more critical than most. But I mean, have you noticed that DC has evolved as far as the fashion sense? Are people more stylish? Do you recognize more trends? Back in the day in the 80s, I think it was really conservative. The look, the styles are very conservative. And DC is a very, cosmopolitan town, a very conservative town, a very government town. So, I mean, but now when you look around, do you find that people tend to be a little bit more expressive, or do you still kind of think it's kind of?
I think slowly but surely, I think DC is starting to pull away from that conservative image that it once had. And you notice that when Barack Obama was first elected into office, young people started coming to the city, and then Washington D.C. itself is going through another renaissance. You look at H Street, you look at U Street, and nightclubs and things of that nature are opening up, and they draw people. People want to go out, they want to be seen, and of course they need something to wear. So I see now as I walk through DC how people are starting to be a little more expressive and take greater risks in the clothes that they're wearing.
Okay. That's a pretty good observation.
Yeah. So it's transforming. It's slow because there's still that conservative with the government, the lawyers, and the lobbyists. But I do see a big change.
Well, tell me this. As far as DC being on the map as one of the, meccas, one of the fashion places to be, do you even consider that we're even in the, in the realm of comparing, even put DC in the same sentence as New York or Milan? I mean, of course, we don't have those European and those high-end designers here, but I mean, can you kind of foresee DC kind of transitioning and being, kind of stepping up the pace a little bit, bringing more entertainers and high-end designers? You're a designer yourself. I know DC has a fashion week, and I think you participated in fashion week, but a lot of people aren't aware that DC has a fashion week. And there's a lot of local high-end designers like yourself, but a lot of big names aren't brought to DC for that. I mean, do you kind of see something like that happening, or what can it, what would it take to kind of build that for DC?
Well, there are organizations, grassroots, that has its origins, grassroots operations, excuse me.
No problem.
They're starting to change that. There's the Greater Washington Fashion Chamber, headed by Christine Cropper Brooks, and she's doing a lot to elevate DC's status in the fashion world. And she's brought many, like Fern Malice here, and she's trying to create legislation so that they create fashion incubators. So I think within the next 5 years, you'll begin to see much more fashion coming to DC by way of designers, models, and events. Just little things like them holding American Next Top Model tryouts in Pentagon City. That says something. And now if you walk down U Street, you'll see all these little, boutiques springing up, which is great. And I used to, and I had a collection carried in one of them, Caramel Boutique, and did quite well.
Wonderful.
So I think DC is on the rise. It's slow and steady, but I think it's coming around.
Well, what can you do to bring, to pick that pace up a little bit?
What can I do to pick that pace up?
What's your contribution to
by
DC?
dressing dapper guys like yourself, great, billboard for me. And just pretty. I mean, I have a couple of clients here, that like what I do, and when they wear it out, they get compliments. So, my look is sort of very tailored and slim-fitting European. And when I first started doing it a couple of years ago, people were really resistant to it. But times are changing; they're more open to it. So I think, my contribution would be just to, try and let guys know that it's okay.
It's okay
to be different and to take
to
risks.
express yourself.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate all your feedback today. Well, that's
Okay.
going to be it. Unless you got something. Where can people find your collection? Where can we find you? And tell us about what's up and coming for you.
Well, you can find the collection at www.andrewnowell.com. I also have an underwear collection.
Yeah, you do.
At Dassault, Dassault Inc. .com, and I'll be in New York on Saturday presenting my fall/winter 2013 collection. At the at
I didn't get that
Roosevelt
invitation
Hotel.
in the mail for some reason. I'm gonna go home and see if it's in there. But I'm a little,
Well, that's why I'm here today,
tight
to
about
give you
that.
a personal invite.
It's tomorrow. What? Saturday? I'm supposed to pull it together in 2 days.
You can.
Right.
You can.
Okay, so is that it?
Yes, that's
Okay,
it.
That's
And thank you. It was a great interview and having me here.
Absolutely. Well,
I
thank you for
appreciate it.
standing here and talking to me out in the cold. We didn't get the sunshine that we got yesterday, but it was a beautiful day nonetheless.
Exactly.
Thank you. This is Ronald from Style Speaks. Have a great day.